Hey y'all, welcome back again to another episode of Healthy Design. We'll keep talking a little bit more about the Eat Rich, Live Long. Um, Today's kind of some of the part of the plan, kind of what to eat, different things along those lines. You can see I got Stormy with me. So far, she's doing a good job leaving the microphone alone. But things that you want to eat, this is just good general information to eat a healthy diet. Again, that's really, I know the book talks a lot about weight loss, but the way they're kind of going about it is just making people healthier. And I've seen with plenty of people, once you kind of help get them healthier, so their body's in this state where it's not as healthy as it can be. A lot of times the weight kind of takes care of itself. And that can be on both ends of the spectrum. So I've had people where they start to take care of things and they actually gain some weight that they need. And other people, if they had weight to lose, they lost it. So, again, I just kind of think our bodies are pretty smart. They know what to do if we just kind of get out of the way or give them the resources they need, then it can do whichever. Either lose the weight that it needs to lose or gain the weight that it needs. So just keep that in mind with all of this too. But some things you want to focus on as far as eating goes is make sure you're eating like wild caught fish, grass fed, pasture raised meats. That would be chickens, beef, different things, pasture raised eggs, full fat dairy. This is something I see a lot. People will do either like skim or 2% or whatever. But the fat is part of that's where a lot of the nutrients are, and we need a lot of the vitamins are fat soluble, so we need fat to get that. Plus, it just tastes a whole lot better. So doing full fat dairy is a good thing. So I recommend that as long as you can tolerate dairy, of course. Vegetables, any and all vegetables are good. And then healthy fats. Butter is actually a healthy fat. I know a lot of times it's been kind of ridiculed or we've been told that it's bad, but butter's a good fat. Coconut oil, avocado oil, those different things are good. What we really don't want are kind of those highly processed seed oils. Try to avoid those. Um, and then for sweet foods, look at things like berries, dark chocolate, stuff like that. That way you still get some of that sweetness, but you're still getting a lot of nutrients in there as well. Not sweets just where it's pure sugar. That's not going to be that healthy for anybody. Um, and so those are some of the main things you want to focus on eating. They do give a few supplement recommendations as well, but they're not kind of the traditional supplements people think of. So the supplements they mention are sodium, potassium, magnesium, omega 3s, vitamin D, and iodine. Vitamin D and iodine are kind of the possible. If vitamin D levels are low, definitely want to take it. But a lot of times you don't see, or definitely years ago, you didn't see sodium, potassium, magnesium too often. I see those a lot more now. And magnesium you see more often than sodium, potassium. Um, but with all the electrolyte drinks now, that's not as uncommon. It's gotten more popular. So this is one of those things when you do switch from a normal standard American diet to one that's lower in carbohydrate, you're going to get a lot of weight loss in the beginning. And so you'll hear people talk about how that's why it's so much better. But remember, the vast majority of that weight loss in the beginning is just water weight. So it's not true fat loss. And again, when we focus on things, we want to focus on fat loss. We don't want to just lose weight and the scale number go down because that could be muscle, etc. And this can be one of the problems with the GLP-1s if you're not doing things to address it. Is that half of the weight loss could be lean body mass loss. So that includes muscle mass and other things. And we want to try to keep muscle mass and those other things and just lose the fat. So when you lose that water weight, it takes a lot of those electrolytes out with it. And so that's why supplementing or making sure you're getting enough sodium, potassium, and magnesium can make a big difference. Sometimes you get cramps, and the magnesium can help on that. One of the possible issues with going low carb is you get or ketogenic is you get the low carb flu. This appears to be due to those electrolytes going out. And so, just make sure you're supplementing with those from kind of the medical side, seeing where this comes in too. If people are put on diuretics, so something that's going to help them to lose some fluid that they're retaining, then the vast majority of times they also have to take a potassium supplement or potassium medication as well to make sure those levels don't get too low, because it can play a role in heart health and different things. So we have sodium potassium pumps. what they're called, to help get muscles to contract. So you can see how those electrolytes come into play. Again, you can do the electrolyte drinks. They'll have different flavors. Um, one of the ones I don't technically or really do the electrolyte drinks. The one that I like is Element LMNT, because on their website they tell you how to make it on your own. So what I do is just use Redmond's real salt, some potassium chloride, and put that in water and just drink it during the day. And so it's kind of how much to put in for each one. That way you get what you need, and that ends up being a whole lot cheaper too. So that's why I like it. And I don't not enough salt to me, at least, to where it tastes bad. It tastes good, but if you needed to, you could add some kind of flavor in there, maybe a little bit of, squeeze an orange, lime, lemon, something like that. And then omega 3s. If you're eating a lot of fatty fish, you might not need a supplement with the omega 3s, but those come in real handy for cell health and incorporate on cell membranes. We want those to be fluid so things can get in and things can get out. We don't want those to be rigid and hard. Magnesium, again, plays a role in relaxation, and so different things can help with sleep. Certain ones, magnesium itself can, but certain supplements like magnesium citrate, they can have impact on constipation, so they can help decrease that, make sure bowel movements are good, which could be beneficial too. So some of the other problems or possible issues with going low carb, constipation and the muscle twitches. So again, magnesium can help out with those things. Some of it is just a transition period it takes for your body, and then as it gets used to it, some of those things clear out. But if you've decreased a lot of those carbohydrates, you might not have the same volume of food coming in because you're eating more vegetables, and so it's just more dense and nutrient dense. So you're just not getting that same big amount. And so that could be where some of the bowel movement change comes from. And then, like I said, as your body kind of adjusts to it, you'll kind of see what your new normal is. Now, if you're not going to the bathroom for days, that's not good. That's not normal. Ideally, we want at least once a day. Hopefully, 1 to 3 times, somewhere in that range. Then they give some tips on how to kind of personalize the plan based on the different categories. So again, the first category is overweight, insulin resistant. You follow the 10 steps of the plan that we talked about before. And then once everything's kind of going well, you've got that, under your belt, you're used to it. Then to help lose more weight, focusing on step 7, where you space meals out further, maybe do some fasting as well. That could be very helpful. That's kind of the general theme for really all of the different categories. So for the normal weight, insulin resistant, same thing, follow the 10 steps. Once that's going well, doing step 7, so playing with the meal spacing and fasting can accelerate your switch to burning fat, and then that could have a big impact on your health. Overweight, insulin sensitive, same thing, focus on step 7. Make sure you're doing all the other steps too. But once you get here, they do talk a little bit about you might have to keep calories under 1,800 a day. And so, again, if I'm going to be very critical, they say earlier, well, calories in versus calories out doesn't matter. But this kind of shows that it does. There's a certain, excuse me, I had to clear my throat. I mean, there just comes a certain point where we have to be taking in less to burn body fat. Otherwise, we're just going to get to a point we're going to maintain there. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. Finding that maintenance point is very good. But if you're trying to get to a different level, you're going to have to change things. And eating more is not going to work, so you have to eat less. And then, well, I think with this too, they had a example, and the person ended up doing some different things. And then towards the end, what they ended up doing was like this: some of the meal spacing, fasting, but they also did the protein sparing modified fast that I've talked about on some of the fat loss videos. And so with that, it's a very, very low calorie diet, very low carbohydrate too. And so for this person, they had a decent bit of fat to lose. So they were using their own body fat to kind of meet some of that fat needed for their diet. So they weren't eating a whole lot of fat during the diet too. And it was very effective for them. I think they lost like 50 pounds using kind of more traditional things. And then they lost another 50 pounds doing that. But I don't remember the time frames. But with that protein sparing modified fast, before they would just let you eat kind of whatever, but they realized people were losing a lot of muscle mass and not actually getting healthier, or they're actually either the health was getting worse, and it just wasn't working well. They weren't losing all the body fat they wanted. And so once they added protein, got those levels up, then the body's able to better hold on to the muscle mass that we have. If you can exercise too, that'll help out on maintaining that muscle mass. And now, if you're eating that few calories, you don't have to actually exercise a lot to maintain things. That's the good news. It's not like you have to do these hours and hours of exercise every day. Sorry for Stormy being loud and over my shoulder. So you don't have to exercise hours and hours and hours at the time. If you're eating that little, you can do just a little bit of exercise, say 30 minutes, even twice a week, probably be more than enough. All right, so moving on, the last category is the normal weight, insulin sensitive. Same thing, follow those 10 steps, but focusing on steps 7 through 10 can be beneficial. So again, step 7 is that meal spacing side. Step 8 is like sleep, sun exposure, managing stress. 9 is making sure you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that you need, and 10 is exercise. With this, I would say that the stress and the exercise can play huge roles in things. If you are going on a diet, that is a type of stress for your body too. So if you've got a lot of other stressors going on, that can play a role in things. And then one of the things I talked about too on the fat loss videos is what we'll a lot of times refer to as the whoosh effect. Like you're trying to lose weight, lose body fat, but the scale's kind of staying the same for a while. But you're following the plan, you're not cheating, so it doesn't make sense. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, you lose like 2 or 3 pounds and look a whole lot leaner, more defined. And it appears to be kind of more this water weight that's gone. And so again, with stress, we can get inflammation, which then means we can retain fluid, and then that can mask some things. And if we're retaining that fluid, even though we're losing that body fat, fluid's masking that. Just in our culture, stress is a huge thing. We're exposed to it all the time. We can't get rid of all of it. Sorry, I thought for a moment I might not turn the mic on, so I got a little paranoid that I was going to have to repeat all this. So I'll probably leave that in just because I thought it was hilarious. But anyway, so stress, we can't get rid of it all the time. So we got to find ways to kind of manage it better. Exercise can be a part of that too. I really like the long, easy walks. I think that's a great stress reducer for me at least, and can be for a lot of other people. There's all kinds of ways to do it. And then with exercise, the only thing I really want to say about that is just, again, too often people think that they're burning a whole lot more calories than they actually are during exercise. You really don't burn that many calories during exercise unless you're some high-level athlete who's doing hours and hours and hours at a time. Then yes, they're burning a lot, but for most of us normal people, we're just not burning very much. So to say, oh, well, I can have this now because I worked out and I burned this number of calories. If say the machine said you burned 600, you can't have this thing over here that's even 300 calories, because at most you probably burn 200 or 300 calories. So you've just undone all that. But there are tons of benefits from exercise: brain-derived neurotrophic factor, maintaining muscle or building muscle. There's all these different health benefits that make exercise worth it. It's just not going to be a big fat loss reducer, weight reducer, different things like that. But it will play a huge role in health, and so I think that's the good thing to always add in there. All right, that's it for this section of the book. I think they have some like meal plans or different recipes and things too. So if you like that sort of thing, definitely recommend buying the book, give you some ideas on it. And we'll keep going through it. I think they start to talk about some specific kind of health issues. And so we'll kind of go through those, maybe 1 or 2 at a time, and just give you some information that might be helpful. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you laughed a little bit with the freak out about the microphone, and then Stormy, the glowing eyes over the shoulder. But thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time. Bye.